Well, we have our third session now on the new monasticism, and tonight what we're going to do is talk about our experiences of different kinds of communities. And what we're going to do first is to hear from three of our community members who have had experiences with Taizé community and Iona community, with Buddhist communities and with L'Arche community. So contrasting types of community, but I think we'll all learn something. And then we're going to divide into four wee little groups and go in different places of the house and talk about our experiences of community. So first, let me introduce to you Brother Larry, who needs no introduction at all. So here you are, Larry. Yes, to this chair here.
So Andy asked me to talk about the Iona community and the Taizé community. I'll start with Iona. They're a little older, by 2 years. The Iona community is a contemporary community that started on the island of Iona. Actually really in Glasgow, but they got their start when they took over rebuilding the Iona Abbey on the island of Iona. Which, if you've never had a chance to get there, it's a hike. You have to get to Glasgow, then you have to take a train to Oban, and then take a ferry to Mull, and then you have to take a bus across Mull, and then you have to take a ferry to Iona, and then you have to walk to the Abbey. So planes, trains, and automobiles, to say the least. It's pretty remote. It was the site of the Abbey that St. Columba started when he was exiled from Ireland, which eventually petered out, as Celtic monasteries did, eventually. And but in 1938, George MacLeod started rebuilding the Abbey, and really the project was getting young boys from Glasgow to come to the island and participate in retreats for a while and work on rebuilding the Abbey and give them something to do other than cause trouble in Glasgow, which is what they were doing up until he started this project. So it really started that way, and now it is the community is a dispersed community, somewhat like ours. I think they've got like 1,500 associates at this point, all over the UK mostly, but globally as well. They're known for being a radically ecumenical and radically social justice oriented community that have a lot of interest in especially environmental matters, which comes out of the Celtic Christian spiritual heritage. They're also known for their worship, beautiful liturgies and music. John Bell is their sort of main music guy, and he writes a lot of music. And I have their worship book here. They have another book that's their music book, which I didn't bring. But if you want to look through, that's the Iona community.
I have another Wild Goose
book
as well to look at.
Yeah, they have a publishing house called the Wild Goose Publications of the Iona community.
Yes.
And that's their We Worship book.
That's the We Worship book. So just
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's good.
Just to see if the people will get this
Yep.
as well.
Then there's the Taizé community. The Taizé community is in southern France, in the town of Taizé, which is why they're called the Taizé community. They were founded in 1940 by Brother Roger, who was a Genevan Protestant, who got together with 3 of his friends from Geneva, and 2 of whom were Catholic and 1 of whom was Anabaptist of some sort, if I remember correctly. And they headed out from Geneva and moved to Taizé and started an ecumenical religious order. Now, at the time, their sort of main project and mission was to help Jews escape from Germany through southern France. With the end of World War II, that kind of ended the need for their mission. So they started looking around for another calling for this community, and what they discovered was a calling to work with young people. And so they started trying a bunch of different things. They started attracting more members, and as they experimented, they developed a rather unique style of worship and way of hosting young people in their community at Taizé, so that by really the early 1970s, they were hosting 5 or 6,000 young people per week, every week of the summer. And they host people year round, but the summer is their high season. Now they're running about 3,000 to 6,000 per week. So they continue to draw a lot of people, and they come from all over the world. And what's unique about their worship style is that the worship is made up primarily of chants that they've written. They're in all different languages, and they're incredibly repetitive. You just keep singing over and over and over again. And there are verses that one of the brothers will sing over top, but when you get 6,000 people singing the same thing over and over and over again, it's a deeply meditative practice that they've developed. And then the really interesting thing is that right in the middle of all of that, they have 10 minutes of silence. And the way the brothers describe it at Taizé is that the silence is really the heart of the practice, and that the music is a way of contextualizing the silence. And so it's a beautiful thing, and to have 6,000 young adults from all over the world, they're very careful to make sure that as people are coming from all over the world, that at least one song that is sung during the week is in the native language of everybody. So that if you're there, you're going to hear at least one song in your language while you're there. Because there's all of these people speaking different languages, they translate everything. The main language of the community is actually English, although it's a very simplified version of English. And then everything gets translated into whatever languages need to be used.